Hey there, scholars. Let's do part 2 of this solving equations practice. Now we have an x variable on both sides, but we're just going to proceed as before. We're just going to collect all the x's on one side and all the things that don't have an x on the other side. So we're just going to subtract x off this side and off this side, minus x on both sides. 2x minus x is just x. And we have a minus 1 there from before. X minus x adds up to 0. And then we have a 5 over there. And now we can x minus 1. We can add 1 to both sides to move this term over to the other side. So plus 1 and minus 1 adds up to 0. So we have x on the left plus 0 equals 6. So x equals 6. And that's our answer for this one. We can check our work. 2 times 6 is equal to 12. Minus 1 is 11. And then on the right-hand side, we have 6 plus 5 is 11. So that checks out. All right. Now on the second problem here, we have an x here and an x there. We can go ahead and add 3x to both sides to get that one to move over here. Plus 3x. And so now let's rewrite it. So we have 4x on the left, 4x minus 6 equals minus 3x plus 3x is 0, minus 5. That stays. Okay, now we just need to get this minus 6 to go to the other side. So we're going to add 6, and we're going to add 6. All right, so we end up with a 4x plus 0 equals negative 5 plus 6 adds up to 1. You might be able to figure out that 4 times something equals 1, then that something must be 1/4. 4 times a fourth is equal to 1. But we can also use the rules of algebra to figure that out. So we're going to divide by 4 on both sides. That one cancels out because 4/4 is equal to 1. So then we have x equals 1/4. There's our answer. And so we could go ahead and figure this out. We could have 1/4 minus 6 is equal to negative, minus 6. 1/4 minus 6 would be negative 5 3/4. It's easier to write this as an improper fraction. So we could say 5 times 4 is 20, negative 20. So it's 20 plus 3 is 23/4. So it's negative 23/4. It's another way to write the same thing. So then we could have negative 3/4 plus 5. It also adds up, or sorry, minus 5. There we go. Minus 5. That's also going to add up to the same thing, as we can see. So that actually adds up. And I'm going to erase this part just because I don't want to make it confusing for people looking at the solutions here, but we just made sure that that was a real solution. Okay, now the next one has a distribution here to start off with. So just as we did before, we're going to multiply 2 times x. And we're also going to multiply 2 times negative 5. So it's going to be negative 10 equals, we have 4x plus 5. There you go. So here we have that. Now we can do this on either side. We want to. We can either subtract 4x from both sides, or we can subtract 2x from both sides. Either way, it's going to come out the same. So I'll just do minus 4x from both sides, I guess. You could try it the other way and make sure that it comes out the same. Okay, so there it is. So now on this side, 2x minus 4x is negative 2x minus 10. Then we have our 4x minus 4x, it's 0, and we have our 5. That's there. Now all we have to do is get rid of this negative 10. So we're going to add 10, add 10, and we end up with negative 2x plus 0 equals 15. And x, sorry, getting ahead of myself, negative 2, okay, divide by negative 2 on both sides. So the negative 2 on this side cancels out because negative 2 over negative 2 is 1. And then we end up with x equals negative 15 halves. And we're going to want to check that. I think I'm not going to do it here on the video because it's just going to make the video long. But you want to check that and make sure that it really comes out equal on both sides if you put that number in there. All right, number 4. We have 5x equals ax squared. I'm going to do this 2 different ways just to show you. So I have 5x. A different way to write ax squared is axx, because x squared is x times x. I guess I'm going to do this one first so you can see that's the same thing. So I'm going to start by dividing by x on both sides. And then what's going to happen here is that x over x is 1 and x over x is 1. Now it's kind of cool. We could have done this x over x is 1. Doesn't matter which one you do because you still have an x left over. And so on the left, we have 5 times 1, which is just 5. And on the right, we have ax times 1, which is just ax. So that's how we start off. We could have also done it just like this. Divide by x. Divide by x. And another way to write this is we could say, okay, x over x is 1. And we could cancel out this x with one of those x's. So it just gets rid of the squared. And then we have 5 on the left and ax on the right. So it's the same thing either way. It's just a different way to write it. If you understand this concept well, you can just write it like this. If that's a little confusing for you, write it out as axx and do the math that way. So from here on out, I'm just going to try to solve for x. I'll just do it over here on the left now. So we're going to divide by a on both sides so that we can move that over there because a is multiplied by x. So I have to divide it so that I can cancel these out. So now I end up with x on the right. And I have 5 over a on the left. So that's actually my answer. I can just leave it that way, or I could write it the other way with the variable on the left, which is kind of nice. 5 over a. So either way is fine. This is kind of the way we're taught to do, is to write the variable on the left. All right, next one, we're going to do the similar process to what we just did above. I'm going to leave it like that so you can see it. Oops, let's see. Okay. So we're going to multiply 2 times x, and 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. There we go. And we have our 6x minus 1. Always rewrite everything every time and keep your equal signs lined up. And so now we can, it doesn't matter which side we put things on, but we could put everything on the left by getting rid of this 6x minus 6x. Subtract 6x on both sides. And so we have negative 4x minus 16 equals 0 minus 1. Now we just have to get this 16 over there. And then we have minus 4x plus 0 equals negative 1 plus 16, that's 15. And now, that looks a little funny, so I'm going to fix it. There we go. And now we're going to just divide by negative 4 on both sides so that we can cancel out the negative 4, get it over on the other side. So we can cancel out negative 4 on both sides. The negative is part of that, so I guess I'll do it like that. We don't really have to cancel out all that, but I guess we could do. And then we have x on the left equals negative 15 fourths on the right. And that is the answer to that one. And again, you can check that and make sure it works out. But I'm trying to keep my video short, so I'm not going to check it on the video. And now we have a bunch of A, C, and D kind of things, and we're trying to solve for x. So these could be numbers, they could be variables, it doesn't really matter. The main thing is we're trying to get this by itself. So the first thing, just like we did on the previous one, is we have to, on the previous page, we have to get x by its, we have to get x out of the denominator. So the first thing, we're going to multiply by x on both sides. Okay. And then this x cancels out with that x. It's x over x is 1. So we just have ax on the left equals c minus d. I guess if we really wanted to be careful with our writing, we could put some parentheses in here, showing that we're multiplying by x, really showing that. But that's just multiplied by 1, so we just end up with c minus d over there. So we're almost there. We just have to get this. It's a times x. And since they're multiplied, I'm going to do the opposite, which is dividing. So I'm going to divide by a on both sides. Here comes this. I'm going to cancel that out. And x is equal to c minus d over a. And that is my answer. Okay. X equals c minus d over a. All right, guys. Have fun with this, and I'll see you in the next video.